Welcome back to Wrestling World. Today's wrestling news will include several WWE stories such as The Miz's Money in the Bank, Mandy Rose's doubts about Dana Brooke, and Charlotte Flair. Before we get into the wrestling news, make sure to subscribe if you're new and leave a like below. Let's kick things off with the Money in the Bank because what a horrible year it's been for the Money in the Bank contract. It's the first year in a while where we were robbed of seeing any successful Money in the Bank cash-ins. Asuka won the women's Money in the Bank, but there was no real suspense there or build-up because she became the Raw Women's Champion 12 hours later after Becky Lynch left. So the women's Money in the Bank contract was basically a non-factor this year. Same thing goes for the men's Money in the Bank contract. Even though it stuck around for a long time, the men's Money in the Bank contract was just as much of a non-factor this year as the women's Money in the Bank was. Otis first wins Money in the Bank. Reports were going crazy about how much WWE loved Otis, and everyone was assuming that we would see him become WWE Universal Champion over the next several months. But when you really start to think about it, it wasn't really believable for Otis to pin anyone in the main event title picture during that time. No one really saw Otis pinning Braun Strowman, The Fiend, or Roman Reigns. It just wasn't happening. That's when the rumors started to go around that Otis may be traded to Raw because he would have a better chance of cashing in over there. But the same scenario basically played out with that idea. No one saw Otis pinning Drew McIntyre or Randy Orton. So that's when the rumors started to circulate that WWE regretted the decision and wanted to take the WWE Money in the Bank contract off of Otis. That's exactly what they did. The contract was handed over to The Miz, and everyone thought, well, maybe WWE has some plans for The Miz to do something with the contract. Unfortunately, no. WWE still had no plans for the Money in the Bank contract, even with The Miz now being in possession of it. That led us to the weekend of WWE TLC. Rumors and reports started going around that WWE was taking suggestions from writers for the cash-in ideas for The Miz, but the report claimed that none of the ideas were any good. It seems like they did decide for him to cash in at WWE TLC, but it was one of the most embarrassing and anticlimactic cash-ins we've seen in quite some time. Like one WWE fan said, The Miz's character is an opportunist, and he has cashed in successfully before. The character should know when's the ideal time to cash in. Giving him a horrible sloppy cash-in like the TLC one was basically an insult to the character's intelligence and history. He should have known better. He's been here before. But The Miz couldn't win the title. McIntyre retained, and it goes down as a failed cash-in. It's horrible. It makes the Money in the Bank contract feel pretty useless as well. The Money in the Bank contract used to feel like a secured title win. But with WWE playing hot potato with the contract, failed cash-ins, and having no idea what to do with the Money in the Bank contract, it just really makes you wonder, why are we still having the Money in the Bank event every year if they don't know what to do with the winner? If the Money in the Bank contract is going to have this much of a messy direction every year, then maybe it's time to call it off. But you can't do that. It's a WWE tradition. It's going to stick around. Everyone thought that The Miz's failed attempt was WWE's way of putting the 2020 Money in the Bank contract out of its horrible misery. But there seems to be a big twist to the story. The Miz believed he has a case to get it back, since John Morrison was the one that technically cashed in. So if WWE gives The Miz the contract back, we're still going to be back to square one. What are their plans for The Miz's second cash-in now? I like having Money in the Bank holder around because of that threat of them cashing in at any time. But we'll have to see what WWE decides to do with this messy situation. Mandy Rose has had a solid year, from her great story with Sonya Deville to closing the year out by forming a tag team with Dana Brooke. It's been a great year for her. But the plans did change after her SummerSlam victory. Mandy Rose was reportedly going to be set for a major push in the SmackDown women's division and even get her name into the title picture. However, the plans changed and she was randomly traded to Raw in the middle of the year. As usual, WWE didn't seem to have any plans for her on Raw, but they later decided to team her up with Dana Brooke. Obviously, it's not an insult to your new tag team partner, but it's always unfortunate when you're coming out of a long tag team breakup with your old partner and WWE just decides to throw you into a new random tag partner. That's just very deflating. That's what happened to Mandy Rose, Peyton Royce, and a few others. Mandy Rose recently spoke with Lillian Garcia and revealed that she wasn't too happy about teaming up with Dana Brooke at first because she was ready to be a single star after spending the last 5 years with Sonya Deville. Mandy had this to say: "I was a little bit not discouraged to be in another tag team, but I was worried. Is everything okay? Did I not have a good match, or did something happen?" We all know the plans change, day by day, so I wasn't getting answers. I wanted clarity of what was going on. So when they finally told us we were going to be in a tag team, I went, okay, good. It's something, Mandy Rose also mentioned how SummerSlam wasn't the biggest win of her career, and she expected WWE to capitalize on that big win, but that wasn't the case. She was placed right back into the tag team division after spending the last few months crawling out of it. So obviously, all that momentum she had was destroyed once she was paired with Dana Brooke. We'll have to see what's next for Mandy Rose and Dana Brooke with their newly formed tag team. Charlotte Flair has returned, but with a big, unexpected move. The popular belief by fans was that Charlotte would turn on Asuka after their loss at WWE TLC. Nia and Shayna carry on as a tag team champion, while Charlotte and Asuka feud for the Raw Women's title. However, they actually won the tag titles, so that changes up everything. Obviously, everyone is waiting for the team of Charlotte and Asuka to implode. It's only a matter of time. It feels like another recreation of the Sasha Banks and Bayley storyline. Yeah, Charlotte is happy to be a tag team champion, but she keeps looking over at the WWE Raw Women's title, and you just know that's what she's really after. So we're asking the same questions here that we asked with Sasha and Bayley. Will this be a short tag team reign for them, and who's going to turn on the other first? It's quite obvious that this will end with a Charlotte vs. Asuka feud, but when would it take place? Royal Rumble? WrestleMania? I could see them holding this title for a little while, and then maybe they'll meet at Royal Rumble because WrestleMania is still far out. So Royal Rumble seems like the perfect spot for this team to implode at. It's been forever since Asuka put that title on the line, so we'll see what happens. But what are your thoughts on today's wrestling news? Leave your comments. Don't forget to subscribe with all notifications on, and leave a like if you enjoyed. Thanks for watching, guys.